Welcome to Outdoor Madness, everyone. Kerry Clark here. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode. All right, we are back with a full ride and test on this 2022 Kawasaki Mule Pro FX. So once again, guys, the first thing you're gonna notice when you're riding in this thing, it's so quiet. I tell you, I love the 3-cylinder motor in this unit. It's so nice, quiet, it's got plenty of torque, plenty of power. I mean, you can just cruise on this thing for hours. You won't get fatigued or anything. It's just so nice. Now what's really nice about this unit too is, compared to the FXT. So of course the FXT, you've got that extra bench seat and it transfers into a 6-seater. Even though this is only a 3-seater, what's nice is you've got a larger bed instead of that bench seat, but it's lighter and it makes it so much more nimble, you guys, and it's just fun. You just get up and you go. I love it. I mean, the thing is so smooth. It just goes. So right now I'm just doing some exploring in the back hills around my house. It always makes it so nice, you know, when you can have a conversation with someone with your helmet on without screaming. Now I'm by myself today, but I can only imagine if I had my wife with me, I could have such a good conversation with her because this thing is so nice and quiet. I just love it. So you know, you guys, what we're doing is we're testing these things out to see how trail worthy they are. So far, this is the 3rd Kawasaki Mule that we've tested so far. The first one was a Pro FXT Ranch Edition Platinum. That was the trans cab, the 6-seater. You know, we filled that thing up, loaded it up with family, took it up in the mountains, took it up on the trails, we took it out in the snow, and it was just a blast. I mean, it handled everything so nice. The next one that we tested was the Pro MX, the 2-seater. And man, that thing was just as good. Now, the only thing, of course, about that one is that short wheelbase. So, with that short wheelbase, it's not going to be as comfortable on the trails. You know, it's going to be a little more rough. But then again, the short wheelbase on the Pro MX can get you in and out of stuff a lot easier. Nice, tight, twisty turns, you know? So that's what's really nice about that one. So once again, you guys, what really makes these mules nice, and I tell you, I really never thought that I would even consider buying a utility vehicle for trail riding, because I've always ridden sport side-by-sides. Like right now, I have an Arctic Cat, 2013 Arctic Cat, and I've been thinking about buying a new one now for probably over a year. But there's just so much to choose from, and with me, I want to make sure that I drive anything before I buy it, and that's what I'm doing right now. So, but when you just take a look, you know, at this mule, it still has everything that you can you know, use around the property for work and everything. You know, it's got the tilt bed like we did when we did the walk around on it. You've got the headache rack right here. And what's really nice, this thing, you guys, when you open this up, now this one has the bed extender on it, but you can actually fit a whole pallet inside of this bed. So if you're on your property and you pick up a pallet of feed, you got a ranch, you pick up hay bales, whatever, you can get a forklift, lift up a pallet of feed, and you can stick it right in this bed. And then you've got these dividers here, you see, right here in the bed. So you could take slats of wood and put them down there, and if you want to section off your bed, you can do that. That's what's so nice about these mules. These things are really blowing me away, man. I tell you, I just never thought I would even consider buying one of these to trail ride. But when you drive these things and you see how nice they are, the power steering, the clutching, how smooth they are, and then just how comfortable the ride is, it just makes your mind go, you know what? I just think I could be satisfied with one of these. And I'm telling you, I'm really thinking about it. And then another thing is, with these mules, you know, you're going to save a lot more money than if you went and bought a full-blown sport, or not a sport utility, but a full-blown sport side-by-side. What I'm really liking too is on these utility vehicles with these tailgates, and these cup holders are really nice. It even holds my water bottle. It's got two, one over here and one over there. But if you want to stop, have your little break, that's what's nice about these things too. You can just open up your tailgate and just have a little sit down right there. I can even move this. This is the extender. I can move this in. And of course, this one has the accessory box on it right here. So I just had to bring me some snacks. Love my big old giant bag of homemade trail mix. Got to eat some of that. It's just nice to be able to just open up that tailgate, sit down, and just chill. And you got all this room back here. I mean, I could carry a tent. I could carry everything I'd need to go out on this thing and camp for a few days, just in the bed of this thing. You know, I could even carry a small generator back here with a tent, a cooler, everything I need to keep me completely satisfied for a weekend, even probably longer than that. There's just so much room. Oh yeah. Nothing like a little snackage on the trail. Another thing that I really like about these Kawasaki mules, every one of them so far get really good gas mileage on them. I mean, you could fill up this thing and ride for a couple of days on a tank of gas, just putting around on the trails, you know, which I think is really good, especially at the price of fuel nowadays, and when you're running premium in these things, you know. So that's another thing to think about. Now, there's one trail I always do on my sport side-by-sides that I test, and on the utility side-by-sides that I test. Especially these utility side-by-sides. If they can make it up this trail, and in fact, I gave this trail a new name. I call it Ugly Betty. It's one ugly trail. It is nasty. And every test we've done so far, I've taken every Kawasaki mule up and down that thing, and they've done it with no problem. So now we got to see how this one handles it. see this hill right here. This, I shouldn't even say hill, a little hump in the road here. I'm gonna see if this thing hangs up on it. All right, let's see. Right there. Oh, just barely made it. Now that is one thing about a utility vehicle, of course, when you're trail riding. They don't have as much ground clearance, so there's going to be obstacles that you can't go over like you can on a full-blown sport side-by-side. This is another nasty, pretty nasty hill. It's not as Ugly Betty, but it's pretty nasty. Now let me show you guys something that I do not like only on the FX mules that I've noticed. So I'm going to back up. So what these mules do, only the FX models that I've noticed, the FX, of course the FXTs, the ones with the 3 cylinders in them, they freewheel. All the other Kawasaki's, the Pro MX, the Teryx, the KRX, none of them freewheel. Now this still has good engine braking, but it reaches a certain RPM and it'll take off on you and freewheel. And what you have to be careful of is, if it starts freewheeling on you and you're gonna have your foot off of the gas. As long as you have your foot on the gas, it will not freewheel. My Arctic Cat does the same thing, and I absolutely hate that about it. But I've gotten used to just keeping my foot on the gas. So right now I'm going to show you. We're in high right now, 4-wheel drive. We've got the rear differential lock. We're going to start coasting down this hill, right? So we're coasting, the engine braking. Now it's freewheeling. You see that? It just takes off. No engine braking whatsoever. So if you guys ever get in a situation you do that, make sure you hit the brake. If your foot is not on the gas and it starts freewheeling and it takes off and then you go and hit the gas, what's going to happen is the engine braking is going to catch in and it will slam you. I mean, when I had my Arctic Cat, I was on a trail one time and I was coming down that trail and it took off on me, and that's when I first got it. I didn't even know it freewheeled. It started freewheeling on me and I put my foot on the gas and the engine braking caught and it slammed me forward. In fact, my head hit the rear view mirror because it caught, you know, the engine braking. It kicked in so quick that my head slammed up against the rear view mirror and it just shattered that thing all over the place. So we're gonna go back up this hill again. We're gonna go back and I'm gonna see if this thing will freewheel when it's in low going down a hill. I don't think it will, I'm not sure, but I want to test that out. Let's see what it does. It'll freewheel when you're going in reverse also. Okay, so we're going to drop it in to low, and it's in 4-wheel drive, of course, and the rear differential is locked. Let's see if it'll start freewheeling in low. I'm just going to start coasting once I get up here. Okay, take my foot off the gas. Let's see if it starts freewheeling. There it goes. It's freewheeling. You see? So we hit the brakes. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by about keeping your foot on the gas. And you guys that have mules, I'm sure you already know this, but someone who is getting ready to buy one of these, this is something you really need to know, because you will jack yourself up if this thing starts freewheeling, going pretty fast, and you put your foot on the gas. It's going to mess you up. So let's go back. Okay, so we're still in. Gonna go back to go back into low, because we're already in 4-wheel drive with the rear differential lock. So we're gonna go down this hill, but now notice, I've got my foot on the gas. As long as you keep your foot on the gas, you see what I mean? The engine braking's working, it's speeding up, but it's still not freewheeling. As long as you have your foot on the gas, it's not gonna freewheel on you. But if you take your foot off that gas and it starts, you got a steep hill, it gets to that certain RPM, it's going to take off and freewheel on you. Just remember, keep your foot on the gas, and if it does start freewheeling on you and your foot is off the gas, just hit the brake first and then use the brake all the way down the hill, or you can do the 2 foot. What I do is I do the 2 foot like this. So let's say you're going down a hill, okay? You're going down that hill and you stop because you want that engine braking to kick back in. Put your left foot on the brake and then take off like this, going down the hill, and the engine braking will start working. You just got to remember that. Once you get used to it, it's a piece of cake. So, another thing about these utility units, at least the Kawasaki's that I've driven so far, the Mules, let's put it that way. So they don't have a front locking differential, okay? You've got 4-wheel drive. So for instance, we're gonna unlock the rear differential right now, okay? And we're gonna take it out of 4-wheel drive. So what that is, that's like a turf mode. So basically what you have when you take off now, you have one wheel in the back that's pushing you forward, okay? That's what you have right now. We're gonna drop it back into high. All right, we're in 2-wheel drive, and we have, you see right here, you can see the 2 lights right there. Hopefully you can see those. It might be kind of dark, but we're in 2-wheel drive and the differential is unlocked. And so that's it, like I say, it's a turf mode, so you don't tear up the lawn if you're working on a ranch or you're on a golf course, because a lot of Mules are used on golf courses also. So anyway, that's what you have right now. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lock the rear differential, okay? So now it's like a quad, like a 2-wheel drive quad. So now you've got both wheels in the back that are pushing you forward like that. So we'll go down this hill. Okay, now we're going to put it into 4-wheel drive. We've already got the rear differential locked. So now you can't lock your front differential. So basically what you have now is you have 2 wheels pushing and you have 1 wheel pulling. So that's one of the disadvantages on these Kawasaki Mule utilities. You don't have a front locking differential. They still do really good, because we're going out to Ugly Betty right now. And all the other Mules that I've done, even with just 2 wheels pushing and 1 wheel pulling, they've climbed right up it with no problem. But with a Sport side by side with that front locker, you know you can climb pretty much anything. But that's one of the disadvantages with these utility vehicles. Especially now, I don't know about any of the other brands because I haven't tested them yet. But I know with the Kawasaki's, you don't have that front locking differential, which is it's a disadvantage if you're really doing some crazy climbing. But you got to remember, it's a utility vehicle. It's not meant for that, but they still do a good job. All right. You guys, we are at the top right now of Ugly Betty. I'm gonna get out and show you guys this before we go down. So you can see these rocks that stick out. You got these jagged rocks all over this trail. Comes down this way. You can see all out over here. And this is where Ugly Betty starts. Now this isn't even the worst of Ugly Betty. The worst of Ugly Betty is out there. But you can just take a look at it and you can see. I mean, this is one ugly trail. So something else I wanted to talk to you guys about is, take these goggles off so I can see. All the Kawasaki mules, they come with Dural tires. Now when the first mule I picked up was the FX, the Pro FXT Trans Cab. It was the Ranch Edition Platinum. I took one look at the tires on those things and I went, oh my God, I'm gonna get a flat tire. Now the reason why I say that is because the stock tires that I got on my Arctic Cat were Duros, and they were just junk. 4-ply, junky tires. The second ride I took it on, I got a flat. Had to plug the tire. After that, I got rid of them and I put on some Tusk Terabyte 8-plies. But now I'm going to tell you guys something. These are the Frontiers. The ones that I had on my Arctic Cat, they were Duros. They were only a, in fact, yeah, was it a 4-ply? Yes, they were a 4-ply. These are also 4-plies. But they weren't the Frontier. They were a different brand. I can't remember what they were, but they were Duros. And I thought for sure that these things, the first time I took it out, I was going to get a flat. But I'm telling you, I cannot believe how good these tires have been doing. There's no chunking. You know, I haven't put a lot of miles on this thing yet. It's only got, I think, let's see, I think I put about 40 miles on it so far. It was brand new when I got it. But when you look at these rocks again, a 4-ply cheap tire like that, you would think these things would just puncture it. But they've been doing really good. I got to give props to these Dural tires. I mean, if I bought one of these things, I still wouldn't keep them because I just don't feel safe having a 4-ply tire. I got to have at least an 8-ply that's more puncture resistant. But I just wanted to mention that because I can't believe I haven't got a flat, not on one of these mules I've tested yet, and every single one of them have the same Dural Frontier tires on them. Okay, you guys, I like to stop as I'm going down Ugly Betty and just give you a look. Once again, if I didn't have a parking brake, I couldn't do this right now. But anyway, you can see how ugly this trail is. This is just the start of it. Rocks like that. See how sharp this stuff is? You can see that's one of the things you will lack on a utility vehicle is ground clearance. So you have to pick your lines, you know, and choose your lines according. But just giving you guys a look, I want you to see, because this is what I mean. I'm seeing if these things are trail worthy. If they can handle this stuff, then to me they're trail worthy. So far, so good. If you look on this side, you can just see. And this baby is steep, let me tell you. This isn't the steepest part. Then when you come down here, I don't know if you can see, but you've got an off camber that goes like this. So you get a better look right now. I'll go down. So here's the trail. I'm at the bottom, kind of crouched down. You can get an idea of how steep it is. All right, let's keep going. Okay, you guys, so right now you can see I've got my foot on the gas, but now I'm doing the 2-foot deal. Now the reason I'm doing that, I'm using my left foot on the brake, my right foot on the gas. I'm trying to keep the engine braking going because even in low, it still wants to go pretty fast. Now there's going to be times, like right now, I'm just using the brake and I'm just inching down because it'll start taking off pretty fast. You can see how nasty this trail is. I mean, it is nasty. So we're gonna straddle this one. I'm gonna put my foot back on the gas to get the engine braking to go. I'm in low, just barely on the gas. Okay, and you see how the engine braking is still working pretty good. If I would have taken my foot off the gas, it would have just taken off and freewheeled. All right, let's keep going. So we're still in low gear right now. We're coming up on another steep, going down, another steep decline here. This one's not too bad, but it's still pretty rocky. You can see all the rocks. We're still in low gear. I got my foot on the gas. Here's another pretty nasty section right here. Got my foot still on the gas, just barely. Starting to speed up, so I'm going to slow down on the brakes a little. Sorry about that. I had to hold my tripod from falling. This is a really steep hill. So now I'm just gonna use the brakes all the way down on this part because it's pretty rough. Right now my foot back on the gas, just a little bit. The engine braking kicks right in. Still going good with the engine braking. All right, now the hills is starting to level out a little bit, so it's not too bad. All right, here's another section. This one isn't too bad. I don't have to worry about it. I can pull over here. We haven't got to the worst part of Ugly Betty yet. It's still coming up. You can see this big old rut. So I'm going to straddle this one because we go on the side. Now just then, it started to freewheel on me. But I had my foot right there on the gas. I didn't let it go too far or too far down. And I tapped that gas and the engine braking kicked right in. All right, here we go. All right, this is nasty right here. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna use the brakes right here on this because I know, even with my foot on the gas, as steep as this is, you can see, I mean, this thing is so bad. I'm just on the brakes, I'm in low, coming all the way down. You guys can see how bad this thing is. Because there's no way, even if I put my foot on the gas, as steep as this hill is right now, the engine braking will work, but it's still going to speed up too fast. Now, if this was a sport side-by-side and it had that, like for instance, my Arctic Cat. My Arctic Cat does that, but with the suspension on my Arctic Cat, it's not a problem. See, I can fly over this stuff, but when you don't have the suspension, then you need to slow down or you're going to tear up your unit. All right, so it's starting to level out a little bit. I'm going to switch over. I got my left foot, and I'm going to get that engine braking to kick in again. Okay, you hear that? Engine braking is kicking in. Okay, it's working good. It's going to get steep here. I'm going to try it. I'm going to keep my foot on the gas. See that? Engine braking still working, but we're speeding up pretty good. See? So that's what I mean about the mules. Now, that's only the FX models. The Pro MX does not do that. The Pro MX, that thing will drop you all the way down to like 2 miles an hour. It does not freewheel, so it's got a different clutch system on it than what the FXs and the FXTs have. But that's really something important that you guys need to know. All right, still in low, engine braking's kicked in, and the trail now is starting to kind of level out. Now that was the worst part of Ugly Betty right there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to turn around at the bottom, then we're going to climb Ugly Betty and see how this thing does climbing. Come around this turn here. All right, now this is where it starts getting nasty. So we're going to drop it into low. And of course, we're still in 4-wheel drive. And we have the rear differential locked. Now let's see what she can do. Not too shabby. Now up there is where it gets really nasty. Let's see what she can do. Come on, baby. Come on. Woohoo! Yeah. No problem. Now look at all these loose rocks, you guys. You can see right here, you gotta have pretty good clearance. I'm gonna cut right between these two. We made it. Now we're gonna climb right up on these. Just like that. Come on, baby. She's making it. Making Ugly Betty look uglier. See that? See the wheel spinning right there? I think you guys saw it when it kind of came off the ground. There we go, we're going, and there we go, right there. Now that's one of the ugliest, the ugliest parts of Ugly Betty right there. Now we still got a few more spots up here, and we got that off camber up there too. So far, so good. Not too bad for a utility side by side. All right, you guys, so right over there, that's the off camber that goes to the left. We're gonna drop down here and it's gonna get nasty again. Ugly Betty. Here we go. Ugly Betty is showing her face. She don't have no makeup on. Look at that. Oh, let me see. We might drag over here. Oh, made it. All right. Here's the off camber right here. Oh, it's pretty nasty right here, and I gotta straddle this. Oh, Ugly Betty. You are one ugly woman. Oh, we're almost at the top. A few more hairy spots. This is not too bad right here. Oh man, there we go. We are at the top again of Ugly Betty. Well, there you have it, guys. 2022 Kawasaki Mule Pro FX LE with electronic power steering. This baby is a utility vehicle, but it has proven trail worthy because it conquered Ugly Betty. Not only Ugly Betty, but a lot of trails that we've taken it on, rocky trails, hills. It is one awesome unit. It's really made me start thinking about purchasing a utility vehicle. These things are so comfortable. They've got a lot of room where you can carry stuff, haul stuff, but both of them have their disadvantages and their advantages when it comes to a sport side-by-side or a utility side-by-side. So it's really up to you what you decide to do. But the one thing I can say is every single Kawasaki Mule that we have tested so far is definitely trail worthy. Kerry Clark for Outdoor Madness. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and stay tuned for more great things in the outdoors. We'll see you next time.